Hi everybody, this is my channel Mimi Heba. Welcome to my channel. My name is Vicky. So thank you for being a part of this channel. I truly appreciate your time and energy. In my channel, I talk about my life experiences that have led to my own transformation. And in sharing my experiences, my hope and intention is that there'll be something here that will inspire, motivate, and or educate you who might be going on your own transformational journey. So if this resonates with you, please feel right at home in this channel. And in today's video, I will be talking about my transitional journey from being a pharmacist to embarking on a hairpreneurship journey. So I'll begin by giving a background story or my backstory just to give context, and then I will talk about how and why I've made the transition and how it's going and the lessons that I've learned. So to start off with, a bit of a backstory to how I got here. I currently live in Melbourne, Australia. I've lived here since 2004, so roughly about 18 years. I've lived in Melbourne, and I moved here from Nairobi, Kenya to pursue my studies. So I came here to study my Bachelor of Pharmacy. So how I went on to, I guess, decide on a career option, I think that's relevant to this video because that's literally what I'm talking about how I became a pharmacist and how I've transitioned, what has made me change careers now. So going back to how I made the decision to study pharmacy, I remember it was about roughly 20 years ago when I got to that point where I needed to make a decision on the career path for myself. And I guess the criteria that I was using at the time was pretty much, I guess, what everyone would have been using, but for me it was more so that I wanted a career that would provide me a healthy income stream rather. I also was looking for a career path that would provide stability and job security. And the other factor I was considering was something that would give me diverse options to go into, and pharmacy at the time seemed to fit the bill. You know, it was a career that was thought to have stability, and to a larger extent it still does. You know, the base salary was good at the time when I was looking into my career options. And finally, there were a few, you know, with pharmacy, you could either work in hospital, in retail or community pharmacy, or you could go into industrial pharmacy, which is working for pharmaceutical companies. So I felt that pharmacy ticked the boxes for me, and so I went ahead and applied and got in and did my 4-year pharmacy course and 1-year internship after that, and then got registered here in Melbourne, Australia as a pharmacist. So once I started working as a pharmacist, I quickly realized that pharmacy was not a good fit for me, that I did not particularly enjoy the I guess what I would call the working environment, and I just didn't feel that it was a right fit for me in terms of personality and in terms of what I was passionate about, which are things I hadn't even taken into consideration when I was choosing the career that I wanted to go into. So this did catch me by surprise. And so, you know, right at the beginning, I started really understanding what my options are moving forward in terms of if I was going to make a switch or move into like industrial pharmacy. But at the same time, I did want to gain experience within the community pharmacy space. So I did also commit to that, to just gaining experience in community pharmacy. So yes, I continued working in retail pharmacy. I settled into my career and, moved around. Not a lot, but quite a bit, moved into different sort of pharmacy settings, and that helped me get a diverse experience of just working under different conditions, and I was able to really understand what I enjoyed in terms of just working, moving forward, what I didn't like, what was a deal breaker. For me, career-wise, or even within the pharmacy space, even as I was considering my other options, whether I was tossing around a few ideas. I was considering whether to, mainly at that point, I was looking into moving into industrial pharmacy, so working for pharmaceutical companies. So I did gain the experience working in different pharmacy settings, and then in around 2013, around that time, I decided to go back into uni and do my MBA. And I think what motivated that decision for me was two things. One, I wanted to fill the gap of, if I was going to move into pharmaceutical companies or into that space, I wanted to gain that business understanding or knowledge that would help bridge any gap that could be between pharmacy and business. And secondly, it was just a gut feeling like this. It felt right to go back and back on, do an MBA. And I have to say that I'm glad I did. It was such a wonderful experience for me. I truly enjoyed doing my MBA. And not only that, it actually broadened my horizons, and it also showed me where truly my passions lie, which are in entrepreneurship and business ownership. So as I was continuing to study my MBA, I did realize that I was passionate about entrepreneurship, and I felt that that's the path I wanted to focus on moving forward. And so after completing, I started considering how I could go into business ownership. And so this was about 2016. MBA is about a 2-year course, so 2015, 2016, around that time. I began working on tossing a few business ideas, and working on a few business ideas, but the timing just didn't feel right. I felt that there was a few things that had come my way that required my full attention. They required my time, my energy. And also they required my financial resources at the time, so I couldn't be able to commit to starting a business whilst I had these projects happening in my life. So I did place more focus on them. There were 2-3 major projects that have taken place in the span of between 2016 and last year, so in the last 5 years. So in a way, although I was still working on my business, I hadn't given it my full focus. It was, more so looking at certain aspects within business ownership, and really understanding what I was wanting to get into in terms of product offering and how I would do it, researching, trial and error, and working out the logistics. So doing the behind the scenes work of understanding how I could go into business ownership, but I hadn't fully committed. So in 2021, so last year, the projects that were at hand came to a completion, and I felt I was in a good space in terms of my life. I felt that, those projects that were taking a lot of my time now I was at a good place with them. They'd come to a completion. I was happy. And now I felt that I could focus on my career. I could put my full focus on my career, and more specifically on business ownership. Um, and so it seemed as though the stars aligned. And once again, I got back into my gut feeling, and my gut feeling was telling me that this is the right time to really go on and pursue your career or your dream of business ownership. Now this is it. This is the time to do it. And I did feel prepared mentally. I felt I could do it, psychologically, emotionally, physically. I felt that I was ready to make that complete transition, or to make that complete switch. And that's what I did in 2021, and have been on my hairpreneurship journey for the last 1 year plus. So in terms of my business, I own the website mimihairbar.com, and that's where I sell wigs, and the whole premise around that is to help give people options who are looking to transform their look. So that is pretty much my journey of how I have moved from being a pharmacist to becoming a business owner. A lot of the skills that I learned throughout my pharmacy journey, I have taken along with me in business ownership, alongside learning new skills around business ownership. So it's been a learning journey for me. It's expanded me, it's challenged me, it's stretched me. But I do feel that it was what was needed for me. I did not want to stay in a career that I wasn't passionate about, and it wasn't moving. I wasn't moving anywhere with it. So I did really want to evolve and to grow and to stretch myself, and also to live within my purpose and my calling, to do something that aligned with what I love to do something that aligned with who I was, and and to do something that would provide value to people. And so needless to say, I'm glad I did make the transition. I'm happy with I'm at peace, and I'm happy with my decision, and I'm looking forward to my future. So at this point, I will share with you the 5 lessons that I have learned through my journey. By no means are these the only lessons that I've learned. There's plenty that I have, plenty insight that I've gained through this journey. But I just thought I'll narrow it down to 5 main lessons, if I can call them that I've learned and that I'd love to share with you. So I'm just going to read them off. So excuse me if I get off focus. So the first one is know thyself. So this might seem as an obvious one, but it really isn't. We hardly know ourselves by the time we're adults, because of conditioning that takes place as we're growing up. So we get a lot of messaging of how we should do things, or who we should be, or how we should act, and in that process we lose parts of ourselves, or we lose touch with our authentic selves. So I think for me, this journey has been a way of me coming back to my authentic self, and coming back to who I truly am and who I was created to be. And I found that now that I feel that I'm in full alignment. I'm in my purpose. I'm living my purpose, and in that space, I have found fulfillment. I have found peace. I have found happiness, as I mentioned before. So that has been one big lesson for me, is to really know myself, to really understand what it is that that gives me joy, that makes me happy, that keeps me going, that makes me want to wake up in the morning and keep living life, because in there lies my purpose, in there lies why I'm here. And in that, I'm able to give value to those around me and to the world by living my authentic life. So know thyself. The second lesson I learned, comes closely related to the first one, and it is trust your instincts. I've mentioned it in the video as I was discussing how I went with my gut feeling. Our instincts are a God-given gift for us they're our inner GPS to help us navigate through life. And you know, each and every one of us has our own internal GPS or our own internal manual, you know, whatever name you choose to give it. But that's truly what our instincts are. They're that inner voice that tells us what we need to do, how we need to go, and also alerts us when we are off course. So being able to be in tune with our instincts will prove valuable in realigning us back to our true purpose and back to who we are truly created to be. So I would say that you harness that skill of knowing what your instincts are, knowing or being able to tap into your intuition and to tap into your instincts and that inner voice, because that's your GPS. That's what's going to help you as you navigate through life. A lot of, you know, there is some aspects that like the external world or that other people can tell you and that can help you through this life, but there's some aspect of us that we can only know from within, and we should only know from within, and our instincts are going to be that voice that will direct us and will speak to us and show us the way that we are meant to go. And for me, I found that to be so valuable. It has never misled me. I trust my instincts. They always lead me in the right path. They're always taking me to my highest alignment. So I've learned to really tap in and listen to my intuition and trust my instincts, so that they can lead me in my path, in my highest path. The third lesson is to do the inner work and maintain a positive outlook and attitude. So what I mean by that, doing the inner work, is to understand that in every situation that we find ourselves in, whether be positive and especially negative or unpleasant situations, there's a lesson there for us to learn, and it's a season for us to grow and to evolve. Seeking guidance so that we can be able to know what lesson it is that we are there to learn helps us in our journey so that we can become more evolved, and then we can be able to move on to the next step. You can never outrun your lessons. If you step away or if you run away from a situation because it's unpleasant, you're going to meet that same situation in maybe a different form, or that I should call it that lesson in a different form or in a different person or in a different situation as you move along. So you can never outrun the lessons that you're here to learn. You know, do that inner work, and doing that inner work is in unpleasant situations is to seek guidance and to go within and ask, okay, so why am I in this situation? Why am I going through this? What is the lesson for me to learn? It's understanding that life is happening for us so that we can evolve, so that we can grow, so that we can transform and become the best versions of ourselves. And tying in together with that, once you've had that paradigm shift of understanding that life is happening for you, then you can be able to approach situations with gratitude. Now, granted, some situations, you know, they really don't warrant us to be grateful for, especially the ones that leave us feeling not so good, but being able to find the silver lining in every situation really helps to keep that positive outlook and to have that positive attitude in those situations, so that you can be able to ride that cycle or ride that wave, even as you are learning the lesson that comes with the situation. The fourth lesson that I've learned is to research, do your own research. So this is a more practical lesson, and also don't be scared to ask for help. So doing your own research means that you know what you want. So assuming that you know yourself, you know what you want, you know what you're looking for, doing your own research will help you see where there's opportunity and where you can move, and also it will help you make an informed decision. In that same breath, not being scared to ask others for help can really open doors of opportunity where sometimes there's none. So don't be scared to seek help. I mean, the worst that can happen is someone saying no, and that's fine. It just means that that wasn't for you. But definitely being open to getting assistance from others will help propel you move forward. And I've noticed that it's helped me as well in my life. The fifth and final lesson that I've learned, or the final lesson that I'm going to share with you that I've learned, is not to compare your journey with other people's journey. This one is one that I feel is so it's important. I mean, they're all important, but this one is quite it's an important one to understand, that our journeys are going to look completely different. So what my journey has been, or where I'm at, is where I'm supposed to be, is what is suited for me. It's going to look completely different for other people. So don't do yourself any disservice by comparing where you're at with other people, or with where it is assumed that you're supposed to be. You are where you're supposed to be. Always trust that. So just by all means, be inspired by other people's journeys, be inspired by other people's stories, but do not compare your journey with other people's journey. There's no comparison. Our journeys are unique, our journeys are different, and that's how it's meant to be. I'll finish this last point by sharing this quote. Comparison is a thief of joy, and everyone is on their own individual and beautifully different path through life. Trust your path and follow it with purpose. I couldn't have said those words any better. Trust your path and follow it with purpose, and true comparison is the thief of joy. So I hope something that I've shared here with you will has inspired you, has motivated you, or educated you. If it has, or if you'd like to share something, please do. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I'm gonna leave this video here. Until next time, I will be sharing 2 videos, or rather I'll be uploading 2 videos per week. So be on the lookout for my next video. In my next video, I'll actually be looking at the tools that have helped me in understanding my self-discovery journey. But until next time, I wish you so much love and so much light. Take good care of yourself. Bye.